Well, the word on the street is that Sutliff is closing down in some capacity or another, which, if I understand correctly, basically means that 99% of all the tobacco in the world is going away. There's not going to be any left. Unless you're a cigarette smoker, I guess you'll be okay then. I don't know. But as far as pipe tobacco goes, we are all doomed. It's just it's been a good run, guys and gals. We've had a really good time while it lasted. I guess it's all over now. That's the way they're talking. There's no way to know what any of it means, what's actually going to happen. I've heard a lot of rumors. I think that's all anybody has heard, and there's not really any point in repeating any of them. I don't understand all the mechanisms of everything at the larger level, or for that matter, the small, little, tiny local level of the pipe tobacco market. But Scandinavian Tobacco Group has purchased Mac Baren and or Sutliff, and they have said that something like 60% of the Sutliff products they expect to go the way of the dodo. I don't know if that means, I don't know if Sutliff owns Mac Baren owns Sutliff. Everybody owns somebody owns something. It's all a big giant cluster. And it's kind of a bummer because I just got into this thing this year, you know. Something you hear a lot of people talking about online is, or you frequently hear people say, anyways, I do, is that we live in like a golden age for pipe tobacco. That there are more options available now than there have ever been before. And I've read interviews with blenders and shop owners, pipe makers, who say that they see an uptick in new, like younger generations getting into pipe smoking. They think that it's got a long life ahead of it. And I mean, I expect that it's not like it's going to die off completely overnight or anything, but it's certainly worrisome when you hear that one of the largest sources of tobacco is about to go through major changes, and we don't know what they're going to be. Nobody knows for sure. So anyhow, the truth is, I have so much tobacco that the last thing I should be concerned about is not being able to get any more tobacco. I've got so much tobacco that the dog can hardly find anywhere to sleep. I have so much tobacco that we have to do laundry in sections, because when I finish drying one load, I got to move the tobacco out of the way to make room to carry the laundry into the washer for the next load. We're playing 3-card Monte with everything inside the house, from the television to the laundry to dinner to the dog itself, just because of all the tobacco, the mountain of tobacco that is in our way. Isn't that right, honey? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right. I've got too much tobacco to be complaining about not being able to get any more tobacco. But that's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep complaining because, damn it, I just got into this thing, and it took me like 10 months. How long have I been smoking? 10 months it took me to figure out what I like and what I want to buy. And now that I think I'm getting an idea, and I've been telling myself One more purchase for the year, and that'll finish our runs. That'll give us what we need to know for sure what we're going to need for the cellar that I'm going to build next year. And I had intended to spend probably the entire year and all of our collective life savings on that stash. And Sutliff, or Scandinavian Tobacco Group, have foiled my plans, which is regrettable, but it's not the end of the world. I can always take up heroin if need be. Tonight is a special night because I did make that last big purchase that I have intended to make for a while now, that will wrap up the list of things that I had on my radar, some of them all year, most of them for most of the year. Anything that I wanted to try that I haven't yet tried that was on this long list, I just bought the order that gets all of that. And tonight, that's what I'm here to. I'm going to open them. There's this bag. There's not really any point in saying where I got it. I bought it from the places we all buy tobacco online. This bag, this box. I got that box right there. I'm trying to hide my address just out of respect for myself. And this box here. I have all, look at all this. This feels amazing. And it's probably the last time it's ever going to happen. Thanks to the Scandinavian Tobacco Group. Thanks, guys. I'll never get to enjoy this again. Breathe it in. It's good. Okay. So I'm going to open this stuff and show you what is at the tail end of my list, my want list for the entire year. This is the stuff that's at the tail end of it. And I'm going to open it and show it to you tonight and tell you why I bought it. And I'd like to kind of hurry because there's one blend in there that I want to try for the first time. And so I've got my Peterson Demi Warden Tavern Pipe, they call it when you buy it. They call it the Tavern Pipe. This is their, I don't remember what it's the fishtail. It's not a P-lip stem, it's the fishtail. I can't remember what they call this rustication. It's like the standard Peterson rustication here. I read online that it's love it or hate it is what they said about this style of rustication. I don't buy that. I think pretty much everybody loves it. I haven't come across anybody that says they hate it. And if you hate it, like, that's a stupid thing to hate. There's so many other things that are worth hating besides rustication on a pipe. Mosquitoes, for example. Okay. We'll start with the bag because it's the odd man out here. Again, out of respect for myself, I'm not going to show you my address. I haven't covered the label. I've just chosen not to turn the bag this way so that you can see where I live. We're going to open it. Thank you, Carolina Rose, if you see this video, for my penknife type, my tobacco pipe tobacco knife tool. I love this little thing. I use it all the time. I have other knives, and I work with knives regularly in my day-to-day life. But this one is reserved for anything pipe tobacco related because it just feels special and it feels really good in the hand. A good knife should feel good in the hand. That's one of the first things you're wanting, one of the first things you're looking for. There should be a certain amount of comfort. It should feel like it's an extension of your hand. This one does. Which is funny because it's kind of a small knife and I have pretty big hands. Cafe Bustelo. No product placement. This is, we could call it a bro note from Smoking Pipes. I'll tell you where I got it. It's where you guys are buying stuff too. This is a bro note from Smoking Pipes. It says, here's the tobacco you ordered, and here's the SKU number for it. And here's our email, and here's your email. It says nothing interesting. First out of the bag, Bill Bailey's Balkan Blend by Dan Tobacco, if memory serves. Yeah. Bill Bailey's Balkan Blend. Why did I get this tobacco? Because of the first 3 blends that I ever bought, one was called a Balkan. I know now that it was Sutliff's Balkan 2. And I was blown away by it, and I have been on the search ever since for something that gives me that same punch. I've smoked enough of it that my senses have kind of gotten used to it, and it doesn't hit me like it used to. Nightcap was the next animal that was similar to that. And Nightcap is still very tasty, but there's a certain punch that I'm looking for in these blends that are sometimes called Balkan, sometimes called English. I don't know what the difference is, really. But early on, my search for Balkan started, and I was looking for that what Truckin' Piper Bob calls a booming Balkan. What some people call a power Balkan. I think of it as a punchy Balkan. I'm looking for something really punchy. And this one sparked my interest because of a YouTuber somewhere, I don't remember his name. He was an OG YouTuber, that YTPC presenter who has not posted videos in several years. But he did a review of Jackknife's Ready Rubbed. A GL Pieces Jackknife Ready Rubbed. And he had the exact same experience with Ready Rubbed with Jackknife that I did. And he's the only other person I've seen online that reacted to it the way that I did. And he said this was the best Balkan he had ever tried. He was blown away by it. For that reason alone, early on, some 9 months ago, I wanted to try Bill Bailey's Balkan Blend. I've been waiting and waiting, and finally now I own it. I possess it. It is mine. Secondly, I have Bell's Three Nuns. Three Nuns. There it is right there. I think that's a sharp label. It's just simple, straightforward. It's classic. It looks old school, sort of. This one is made by Mac Baren. I know because the label says made in Denmark by Mac Baren. I don't know really anything about this tobacco. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you what's even in it. But I bought it because certain blends that I have smoked this year, and there's been a good number of them, certain blends have some kind of a taste to them that I can only describe as dark fruit. It's not clear if it's like a raisin or a plum or a prune, grape. There's some kind of a dark red fruit. It's reminiscent of a juicy, sweet red fruit that's delicious. And I have yet to be able to nail down what varietal is giving me that taste. But I think it might be a Red Virginia. And I've got a couple of straight Red Virginias that are in my straight Red Virginia run, which I haven't begun yet. I'm suspecting that it's Red Virginia. Not sure. But I was reading a description months ago of Three Nuns. And I remember that the description and the reviews made it sound like it was packed with that kind of a flavor. So I'm really hoping that Three Nuns will help point me in the direction, the right direction, to find this distinct, really nice fruit flavor that I pick up in some blends. This is an attempt to find that taste and narrow down the source of it. Third in this bag, from Ladisi Enterprises. I need to find somewhere to put this. I'm going to put it right here. And this one I'm fairly excited about. I really am. I'm especially excited that so far none of these tins are marred with a stupid warning label telling you something you already know. This is Mac Baron's HH Old Dark Fired. Old Dark Fired. Again, early on, right after my first 3 blends that I bought, I purchased Nightcap and the Jackknife Ready Rub. And Jackknife I had a really bad reaction to it. It just did not. I'll get into this more later, but it really did not sit well with me. I could not wrap my head around it. It had some element to it that was horrible. And I tried and tried. I tried drying it out. I tried giving it some time. After several weeks of attempting to get somewhere with that blend, I just couldn't. Why would anybody want this stuff? That kind of a thing. And I realized, I learned over time that the element that it had that the other blends I had tried did not have was dark fired Kentucky. And I thought, okay, that's the culprit. That's the thing that's throwing me off here. And so for that reason, I started a dark fired Kentucky run in addition to my straight varietal runs. I've spent all year trying to wrap my head around it. And it wasn't until I was gifted John Cotton's double pressed, what's it called? Is it double pressed dark fired? Double pressed dark Kentucky? I think it's called double pressed dark fired. I even smoked 1792 Flake and couldn't figure it out. What's the appeal of this dark fired stuff, you know? And early on, again, I think it was Truckin' Piper Bob suggested Mac Baron's HH Old Dark Fired. He said it's a really good one, especially if you like a nutty burly kind of thing. It wasn't until Jess Piping gifted me John Cotton's Double Press Dark Fired that I got it. It tasted incredible. I had to get that Dark Fire Kentucky by itself in a quality blend. And it took a few smokes, but it got really good. And actually, lately, over the past couple months, I've been smoking that and other dark fireds more than anything else. I've really grown to like it a lot. And it helped me. I can even smoke 1792 Flake now, and I get it, so to speak. Like, I needed to isolate that varietal and sit with it, and it needed to be a quality one. And not to say that Jackknife isn't, but it was too much noise, and really I think my palate was not developed enough for it at that point. But I've gotten there with it, with the John Cotton. And so it reminded me of what Trucking Piper Bob had said when he suggested the Old Dark Fired. Just that it was a fantastic. I remember him saying specifically that the retrohale is particularly nice with this blend. And I retrohale a lot. I really like to blow the smoke through my nose. I got online and started looking at reviews that other people had written about Old Dark Fired, HHODF. And they're saying things like, oh my God, best tobacco I've ever smoked, right? It has rave reviews all around. So I've been very excited for a long time to try HH Old Dark Fired. Really looking forward to this one. I've had HH, from the HH line, I've had Pure Virginia. It was a very, very good Virginia. I've got high hopes for this one. It's the one that made me think, okay, I need to hurry up. I need to go ahead and buy all this, because if everything goes kaboom with the tobaccos after this Sutliff thing, the STG takeover, this one is probably, if they don't do away with the HH line, this is going to be one of those tins that once it's all gone, you're going to probably before it's gone, you're going to see people on 10 bids selling it for like 5 times, what they paid. So I wanted to get my hands on a tin quickly and give it a shot and see, is that something I want to deep cellar? I have a sneaking suspicion that it will be. The next box is much lighter. I'm always paranoid about cutting these boxes open because I don't want to mar anything. I don't want to cut something open that shouldn't be cut open inside of there. We have this stuff. I'll set it right there. We have a bro note from, I think this is, where did I order this one? Pipes and Cigars. Okay, so they split the order into 2 shipments. Okay. And we have some nice look. This is an advertisement for some pipes that they're selling. They look pretty sharp. It's good because I really need more pipes. I don't know what this is, but it looks stupid. I'm not even going to show it on camera. It's another ad for some other product that does not relate to me or my life. They threw something in here. What is this? They threw a couple things in here. Charles Tyrwhitt, Jermyn Street, London. 3 shirts or polos, $99 plus free shipping. An introductory offer from a company that sells shirts. Yeah, well, I don't smoke shirts. Won't need it. Can you imagine if I had as many different types of shirts as I do tobacco blends? Babe, huh? Could you imagine? What is it like?
We'd have to move out.
Just piles of shirts. Just like, oh, God. Here is something from a company called Naked Wines. Code, password, $100 wine voucher. That sounds fishy. I have a hard time believing that I could spend like what, $20 at Pipes and Cigars and they're going to give me $100 worth of free wine or $100. Yeah. Yeah. I can't smoke wine any better than I can smoke shirts. Not interested. Oh, that smells good right away. This is the first time I've bought bulk tobacco online. Man, that one smells good. Which one is it? This is Cornell & Deal's Super Balkan. A handful of people in comments over this past year have strongly recommended Cornell & Deal's Super Balkan if you want a good Balkan. I believe someone, I can't remember who, I do remember, it was the League of the Keepers of the Briar, I think, said he thought this one was a power Balkan, were the words that he used. This is another part of my search for that punchy, booming, power baby Balkan. That's what we're looking for. I'm not going to open it up because I'm trying to keep things moving here. This smells very, very good. Cornell & Deal's Super Balkan. Also from Pipes and Cigars, I ordered Cornell & Deal's Oriental Silk as a part of my Oriental run. If memory serves, this one is supposed to be very smooth, has no Virginia or Burley. It's just all Oriental blends, Oriental leaves. It's also supposed to be really, really good. I do want to try L.J. Peretti's Tashkent. That's supposed to be an extraordinarily good Oriental. Eventually, I'd like to try that one. Moving on to the next box. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to keep the label hidden from the camera. I'm so afraid I'm going to cut something important. Once again, this comes from Pipes and Cigars. Oh, look, and they gave me, this is nice. They really gave me something worth talking about here. I've got a full-on catalog. I don't recall ever getting a catalog from Pipes and Cigars up until this point. They might, maybe they're starting to like me. Very Merry Build Your Own, only $89.95. It includes, it's a bundle package they have available. 1 pipe, 2 tobacco tins, 1 pouch, and 1 accessory. The tins that they show in the ad are Vertical Limits Cascadia and John Cotton's Double Pressed Virginia. I'm curious about everything else from John Cotton that's the double pressed stuff. Dark Fired Kentucky is so good, man. The December 2024 catalog from Pipes and Cigars. Very cool. I will put that with my wine and shirts. Still haven't gotten to that blend that I'm going to smoke in here. The idea was that if I opened the package that contained it first, if it happened that I pulled it out first, then I was going to make a big show of smelling it and packing it. And then for the remainder of this video, as I open all of these, I would be smoking that blend. The way it's working out here, I haven't hit it yet, and I've got nothing to smoke while I'm talking, which is probably a good thing. Probably helps me speak more quickly, so the video isn't going to last as long. Next up, I have, ooh, and it feels dense, kind of like a chocolate bar. It's a prettier label than it looks in pictures online. This one is imported by the Scandinavian Tobacco Group, just like all tobacco in existence will be before long. This is Velvet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Velvet in a pouch. Obviously part of my Codger run. And I got this one. I was kind of interested in it, you know. The people that love Codger blends really love them. So, and the ones that I've tried so far, I really, really like, except half and half. I'm still drying that one out. It's sitting on a shelf. I'll come back to it later. But I really like the Codgers so far. Each one seems to have a rabid, very loyal fan base. So Velvet was like, yeah, okay, I'll get around to that eventually. It's probably pretty good. And for some reason, maybe there were a handful of people, I've had a good number of people have told me that they would be very interested to see what I thought of this one in particular. I don't know why, but that was enough to make me say, well, then let's get it and try it and see, right? And when I do, I'll post a video of it because so many people have brought it up. I'll do a video, first impressions or review or something like that. But that's why I got Velvet. I had some in mind for the Codger run, and this was like not at the top of the list, but it bumped to the top of the list very quickly because of the number of people that said, you need to try that one. This one carries on my Burley run. Really excited to try this one because it sounds like a very heavy, hard-hitting, very strong kind of tobacco, and I've learned over the past several months that I'm really liking bold, strong flavored stuff. This is another classic. You could maybe say that it fits in on the Codger line. Five Brothers pipe tobacco. And that label does look great. That's a very classic, old school. You know, to me, it looks like that looks like a label you might have seen 100 years ago. You know, I don't know. Five Brothers, supposed to be an ass kicker of a Burley. Love it or hate it kind of blend. I have found that most of the time, love it or hate it blends are real winners. They're very good. I'm really excited to try this one. We have some more stuff. You know, I'm going to pull these out. Oh, it's another $100 worth of shirts. I may be able to start that collection after all. It is another ad for something that doesn't look like it has anything to do with pipe tobacco. I don't know why it's in there. We have ice cream, no? DoorDash. It's a DoorDash gift certificate card thing. If there's not a catch to this, honestly, I'm pretty impressed that they threw all this in here. Like, this is very, very generous of them. I feel like there's got to be a catch. This can't be what it looks like it is. But if it is, Christmas, Christmas buying for everyone else this year is going to be a freaking cake, you know? It's going to be easy, real easy. Just here you go, here you go. It is another ad for discounts on products that Pipes and Cigars sells. It's another bro note telling me exactly what I've already purchased. I kid you not, yet another gift for someone in my family or friend group. Free wine. A gift certificate for $100 worth of free wine. It would appear. And this is packaged very, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and rip it open. I got 2 tins in here. These are special. These I'm looking forward to all these. I mean, like I said, they're on my list. I spoke too soon. Hearth and Homes White Knight from the Marquis series. It says Russ Ouellette, Master Blender Russ Ouellette made this. It is his attempt to match the original Balkan Sobrani original smoking mixture. And I've been very curious about that blend. I'm a sucker for this kind of a thing. Everybody's talking about it. It's been called the Holy Grail of pipe tobaccos. I scanned 3 or 4 tobacco auction sites all year long on a daily basis and only saw a tin of Balkan Sobrani original smoking mixture from like the 60s. Only 1 tin of it popped up all year long on the sites that I was looking at. I'm really, really curious what that tobacco would taste like. I would never pay the money that people ask for it when it does show up. But, of all of the blends that try to get close to it, I've heard over and over again that Russ Ouellette's White Knight is the closest. This is supposed to be really, really, really close to the original Balkan Sobrani. And so for that reason, I bought it. I'm very curious about it. I'll never know if it's close to the OG stuff. It doesn't matter. But if it is a Balkan, like I think it is, I believe it's going to be a stellar Balkan. Nobody anywhere has said anything bad about this that I've read. So that's why I bought that one. And then this one, and this is the one that I was going to load in this pipe. I spoke too soon about the horrendous marring of the label. Bengal Slices Black. Bengal Slices Black. This is another one that early on I was very curious about because they say over and over again, you hear that it just smells and tastes like nothing else. It's kind of got its own unique thing. People talk about it, the same way that they say 1792 Flake is just like, love it or hate it, it's its own thing. That makes me very curious. I have heard over and over again that Bengal Slices is good. At some point, someone said, I think, that it has an anisette or licorice type topping or flavoring to it. I've heard that if you love Latakia, this is a Latakia Lovers blend. It's a very good one. So this is the one that I'm really, really looking forward to smoking to. This is the one that I was going to crack open tonight, and probably will if it's not too late. Another reason why I bought this one, aside from the fact that it's supposed to be a Latakia Lovers blend, and the fact that it is a unique, love it or hate it kind of thing, is that my buddy Paul the pipe guy, he smokes this stuff all the time. He's crazy about it. So that's another, what does it say here? A crumble cake made of Cyprian Latakia, outstanding Oriental, bright Virginia, and a touch of black Cavendish. That does sound interesting. Latakia and Oriental with Cavendish thrown in. Finished with a subtle top note, it says. Little bit of a bummer that the label has this horrendous marring on the front of it that treats everyone like they're stupid children, but it's not a big deal. It's what's inside that matters. It's what's inside that matters. Really stoked to try Bingle Slices. This is another one that I wanted to try. I expect there's a high possibility I'm going to want to deep cellar this one, based off what Paul has told me. I gotta get a sip of coffee here. Next up, I'm making a mess on the floor. Last but not least, also on my list of must-buy to finish straight runs, this is, very excited about this one. I'm excited about all of them, right? That's how it goes with this stuff. I've been wanting this one for a while. We have, to finish out, this should, well, Tashkent will be the last one that will finish my Oriental run. But barring that one, this will finish my initial step into straight varietals on the Oriental side of things. This is Robert McConnell's Original Oriental. There it is. This is another one of those blends that numerous reviewers said was the best pipe tobacco they had ever smoked. If memory serves me, this is a very, very old blend, close to 100 years old, the recipe, at least. Maybe not, maybe they gotta use modern ingredients. Maybe some of the leaves aren't available that used to be available. But the recipe, the mixtures, is supposed to be the same going back, I heard, some close to 100 years. Well, it says here on the tin, Robert McConnell, since 1848. Does that mean the Oriental is since 1848? I don't know. But that's an old blending house. That's an old blender. They say that, I've heard this one referred to as a perfect Oriental. Latakia, Oriental, Black Cavendish, and Virginia, harmoniously blended. It's got a production date on it, 11/08/23. So it's just at a year old, if I'm reading that correctly. Really looking forward to this one as well. Robert McConnell's Original Oriental. Supposed to be a killer Oriental. Of the Orientals that I researched, this one and L.J. Peretti's Tashkent came most highly recommended. So this is the stash. These are the tins that I've picked up. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning. There you go. I think I scored I pretty good, landed a pretty good one there, considering out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 8 tins / pouches. Only one has that stupid, smoking is smoke labels. Only one. That's awesome. I'm stoked about these, man. I want to do a video going into a little more detail of my path of choosing tobacco, my tobacco exploration path for this year. Now that the year is wrapping up, it won't be too long before I will have been smoking a pipe for a full year. And that's insane. The time goes so fast, man. It goes so fast. But anyhow, that wraps it up for now. Everything that I have in there, including the gifts that people gave me this year, thank you everyone again. The samples that I was given, the tobaccos that I purchased, all of it, plus this, fills the list that I had in mind when I said this will let me know what to cellar. So if all goes well and the doomsayers are wrong and we don't lose the vast majority of tobacco available, which I don't think is going to happen. If that's the case, then next year my purchases will be almost exclusively cellar building purchases, which is going to be fun. That's going to add a whole nother level to this whole thing, right? But I've got enough tobacco right now to go. I mean, I said before, like it would last me all winter. Really, if I'm being honest, and I didn't buy any more tobacco, I probably got enough to smoke for like a couple years. If I'm being honest, and I'm going to be honest, because why lie about tobacco? That's that. Now it is time to open Bengals Slices. And this one goes out to my buddy Paul Gilson. Paul the pipe guy, this one's for you, buddy. I'm going to smoke some Bengals Slices. I'm going to sit here and have a bowl in my Peterson Tavern pipe. Isn't it beautiful? I really like this pipe, man. Smokes like a dream right away. Smokes like a charm. As soon as from the first light, you know. I love it, and it's got me really wanting some more Peterson pipes, which is good because I desperately need more pipes. I don't have nearly enough pipes to make me feel satisfied. On to Bengals Slices.